the incidence lot was increased. But when we treat the fruit with potassium sorbate, we have a dramatic reduction of the incidence of rot. When we treat, for example, cultivar Lafayette, and we store the fruit for 26 days, we can see that the efficacy of the potassium sorbate treatment was not as good as in the previous experiment, because 26 days of storage is a long time for these varieties. Among the GRAS treatment, we evaluated also the effect of allyl isotocyanate, which is a natural compound contained in cruciferous crops and particularly in the seeds. We call this treatment biofumigation, and the allyl isotocyanate is produced by defetted meal of Brassica carinata or other type of oil seeds added with water in a reactor. Here we have some result. In the first part of the slide, we can see the efficacy is again very high. We have an efficacy index higher than 89% in the first experiment. In the second experiment, with 2 picking times, we have more or less the same result. At the laboratory of IRTA in Lerida, they evaluated the efficacy. Sorry, but there are different slides that were sent to me, so sometimes the presentation is not so clear as because of the difficulty to arrange the various data. But anyway, I hope that will be sufficiently clear. I say that in IRTA they evaluated the efficacy of hot water treatments combined with sodium bicarbonate and a biological control agent. These fruits were artificially infected, and we see that the diameter of the lesion in case of the dry control and wet control is about close to 8 millimeters. But when we treat the fruit with hot water, we have a dramatic reduction of the incidence of rot. And also when we combine hot water with sodium bicarbonate or a biological control agents, in all these cases when we first dip the fruit in hot water, we have a dramatic reduction of the incidence of rot. But the single treatment, I mean sodium bicarbonate or biological control agent, have a very, very low efficacy against this type of rot. The same in this slide, you have more or less the same situation where you have to control dry and wet, and biological control agents plus bicarbonate or biological control agent were always very effective. And in this case, we have naturally infected peaches, and here we have the incidence of rot, and the situation is more or less the same. We have a reduction of the rot when we use hot water treatment plus biological control agent or sodium bicarbonate or also a single treatment. But again, when we use only sodium bicarbonate or a biological control agent, the efficacy was always low. Apples, we tested 8 apple cultivars. The agents are reported here: Mollivinia, botrytis, nectar, penicillium, Neosporin, that now is named victim. Here is the excipient that is used in the Netherlands for the treatment. It was always showed this morning by Alex. These are the experiments done at Urbibio. Here we have some of the symptoms that were detected during the experiment on apples. They have tried to classify the severity of the symptoms, because as you probably know, and the problem that they faced when they tried to treat the apples with hot water is that the various varieties tested, there's sometimes hot water damages on the skin, skin browning. And while on peaches we have no influence of hot water treatment on the skin or on the quality, we have the same quality in treated and untreated peaches. When we treat the apples with hot water, we have sometimes damage, and sometimes we have also an increase of the yellowing of the fruit. We have here the experiment that were done in East Bologna, and we see they have tried to use a short dipping time, following the same philosophy that I mentioned before, and they find out that 50 and 52 degrees for 20 seconds in the 2 successive years was the best treating time and the best temperature for the control of rots. Here we have the quick Cox apples treated with this hot water treatment. You see that you have since a reduction in comparison with higher temperature, of course, caused damage to the skin, and we have an increase of rots. But 50-52 for 20 seconds it was safe for Queen Cox apples and also for other varieties that were tested. Just another slide showing another type of experiment done in East Bologna. We see that among the various GRAS treatments that were tested, the most effective were ketosane and sodium molybdate. The ketosane is a natural substance, and that were used as an alternative, or proposed as an alternative to hot water treatment, but usually the efficacy is lower than hot water treatments. At the beginning of my presentation, I mentioned the problem that we have to register the biological control agents. Among the 12 biological control agents that were tested, 4 were further evaluated. The registration of one biological control agent starting to 106, but it's not finished yet. And we have, now I'm referring to the experiment done in Bertolini University by Alex von Seyck. And they find out that even in organically produced crops, the treatment with copper, salt, and sulfur in the orchard had a deep influence on the efficacy of post-harvest treatment with biological control agent. And this was a really problem because in organically produced apples, copper and sulfur are widely used. Thank you. Are widely used for the control of pre-harvest diseases. And so the efficacy of the biological control agents are unpredictable, and sometimes this type of treatment was not so satisfactory from the control of rots, for the control of rots. Combining biological control agents with hot water, in few cases, increase the efficacy of the treatment. Just one slide to show how the combination of this experiment was done in Wageningen, how the hot water treatment was at the high efficacy in the control of gliosporium rot, but the biological control agent has no efficacy against this agent, and the combination of hot water with biological control agents was not significantly different from hot water. The same in these various orchards. Of course, the different orchards have different incidence of rots, but if you look at the orchard D, you can see that by treating with hot water, we have a significant reduction of the incidence of rot. Finally, the conclusion, hot water treatment at 60 degrees for 20 seconds, control the brown rot in peach and nectarines. 50 to 52 degrees for 20 seconds, control nectar and gliosporium rot in apples, but skin damage on some cultivars. GRAS treatment, biofumigation with allyl acetonase and deep treatment with potassium sorbate, control brown rot in peach and nectarines. Biological control agents, the activity was influenced by pre-harvest treatment with copper, salt, and sulfur, even in organic crops. Activity was unpredictable, and no activity in deep-seated infection, let's say orchard infection. So, finally, we can say that only hot water treatment nowadays is a real alternative to fungicide, because GRAS treatments, as I mentioned before, need 7 years to be registered, and biological control agents are not always as efficient as the hot water treatment. Thank you for your attention.